viewers, this is Kemi Onadipe of My Marriage Must Work. I'm glad to be here on Lifecom TV. My name is Kemi, as I said, and I'm happily married to Apostle Yomi Onadipe with 2 adorable children. This program has been on my mind for a long time, but I believe God has made everything beautiful in His time. Today I'm having wonderful couple with me on the show. But before then, I want to thank God who has made this possible. As I said, it's been on my mind for a long time to enrich and revive relationships. I want to thank my father in the Lord, also who prayed with me on this journey. He's been on TV, on air for over 30 years now. So I'm just like standing on his shoulder, and I believe that as we go on this second phase or next phase of the ministry, it shall be glorious in Jesus' name. So what has brought about this show is the fact that negative news of domestic violence and abuse is taking over the world. Negative news of marriages are not working, and we have come to showcase positive marriages, working marriages. We are here to tell the world that marriages are still working because God orchestrated marriage, and we need to work on our marriages to work for it to work. So we will be bringing couples on this show to tell the world that marriages are still working today. So you are going to welcome with me wonderful couple that I have on this show today, Reverend and Reverend Mrs. Sam Adewumi. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Wow, I'm really happy to have you here on this show. We call it My Marriage Must Work Couples Hour. So this time around, I'm going to be asking questions, and the viewers out there, they are really eager to listen to you because they've been waiting. They've been waiting to hear this wonderful couple, the secret of their marriages, because every marriage, are unique, and you need to tell us what is unique about your marriage. And yeah, so we want to go. I would like to first start by asking you, sir, to tell us who you are. Who is Reverend Sam Adewumi?
Thank you. First of all, it's a privilege to be on your show, and it looks like it's a lot of pressure being the first, so I couldn't see what's going on already. It's okay. My name is Sam Adewumi. I'm a pastor by God's grace, but I'm also a businessman. We've established since 2005 a few businesses.
Wow.
And they're still running, although they are online business right now. And I'm also a publisher. Wow. I help people to get their books out to the public. I also have published 9 books of my own. In fact, yesterday I was working on the 10th one. Wow.
Mention few of those books.
Yes. The very first one is Bad Start, Good Finish.
Oh,
good finish to bad start. Sorry.
Is that about relationship?
No. It's about purpose.
Wow.
It's about purpose.
So,
and I've written on finance as well. Your basket, kneading bowl, and burn. And I've written on healing as well. I've written on fasting. Because I'm a
so
teacher.
You are not a full-time pastor?
Well, I believe what we do is full-time, even though you might be doing a lot of
other things.
Yeah. So I take my ministry as my full-time job.
But you have other things to do.
Every other thing.
You're also a senior protection
is to help
advisor.
Me to do that. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm also a senior protection advisor. I'm also a mortgage advisor. So
wow.
I have a few things that I do. Yes.
So you're very busy.
Yes, and I'm married to a wonderful woman with 3 wonderful children. That's a big ministry as well.
It is. And your children, how old are they?
Yeah, the last one is just gone to the university.
Wow.
Yes.
Look at you. People thought you are just 27.
The first one is finished, working on his own right now. The middle one is the final year of her studies in the university.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much. And who is Reverend Mrs. Toyin Adewumi?
Well, I'm Toyin Adewumi. I'm married to Sam Adewumi, obviously. We are blessed with 3 lovely children. I'm a pastor. I'm an organizational health and well-being specialist.
Great.
I work with organizations to help them look after the health of the workforce. Wow. I also have businesses. We started a business together in 2005, and the business is still going on. Also, I'm a social entrepreneur, and I basically help people with their health
you are busy.
and well-being. I have a ministry to mothers. Initially, it started with mothers that are trusting God for the fruit of the womb. But in the past, maybe 7-8 years, God has actually increased that to involve other mothers. So we have conferences on a yearly basis. We have Facebook groups. We have WhatsApp groups where we minister to women.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, so you're quite busy.
Yes.
Wonderful. Nice to meet you on this show. And I want to say thank you once again for being the first on this Lifecom TV. I really appreciate you, because this is another level. We are reaching out to more people around the world.
It's a privilege to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate you for your time. So, Reverend, you said you've been together for 37 years. People are curious, because looking at you, you look so young. So tell us more about you being together for 37 years.
Yes, I think I met somebody who read your introductions on Facebook. I said, you've been married for 37 years. No, we've not been married for 37 years. We've been married for 27 years.
27 years.
Yes,
so,
and that's July the 25th. I can remember the date, because you don't forget your wedding day.
No, you'll be in trouble if you forget it.
But we've been together for 37 years.
So you've known her for 10 years before the marriage, before you now decided.
You could say that, but going further back, I realized that actually we were in the same primary school.
Wow.
So it's what we call the childhood sweetheart. It was when I was.
So she was your childhood sweetheart.
Yes, we can say that, because since we now reconnected.
Hey, wow, it's interesting. So even as innocent as you were, you were hiding her.
I won't say that. Maybe she was hiding me.
Both of you were actually, you had your eyes on each other. That's fantastic.
She was running after me.
Primary school.
I didn't know you.
Wow. Wow. So even children know what it means to have, special or soft spot for someone.
Yes.
So you had that when you were in primary school. So moving forward, how did you now meet later for you to propose, to get to that level where you say, I would want to marry you, I want you to be my wife?
Yes.
That journey, just could briefly tell us.
I went to high school to retake my exams, and my focus was to education. But the group that I was moving with, I realized that though they were doing well academically, they also had girlfriends. So I was like the odd one out. So,
wow.
I said, okay, if they could combine
you now begin to think,
yes,
you
who's
can
available?
Study
yes.
and also still have your girlfriend.
Exactly. So initially I thought maybe she was engaged, and I didn't want to go that way.
And those people that were engaged, some of them, they were disciplined.
Yes.
They were not messing around.
We are no longer in, no. They were no longer in contact now, and I don't know where that relationship ended. But I'm thankful that the decision that I made that time are still working for me. So that's how we reconnected. That's how we met, and that's been okay for us. So we met when we were in the secondary school. Oh,
that's fantastic. So when you met in secondary school, that's not when you proposed, I guess.
No.
You just became cordial, and you now discover. You said something that it was as if God just covered up for you.
Yeah.
So tell us more about that.
Well,
because I remember you said it wasn't love at first sight. It was love that makes you lose the sight of others. I love that.
Yes.
That's your special quote.
Well, for us, I believe that it was divine, because again, like I said, we were in the same primary school. We really didn't know each other. But as soon as I laid my eyes on her, I felt something that this would be my wife. At that time, I was not a Christian or a strong Christian. I'm religious. I go to church. I won't mention which church, but that kind of was a witness that this is your wife. So I knew that I had to forget any other relationship at that point.
Wow.
Yes.
As early as secondary school.
Even despite the things that we went through in between the 10 years,
you didn't there was
this
each other again.
Yes, there was this consciousness anytime we meet that That's my wife.
That's wow.
Yeah.
So over to you, Reverend Mrs. How did you feel when it started getting closer? Were you having the same conviction straight away, or you prayed, or how long did it take you for you to decide this is my husband and I'm going to get married to him?
Well, to be quite honest, we were in Form 5, for those of us who schooled in Nigeria, in Form 5, final year of the secondary school then. And he joined us when we were in Form 5 from another grammar school. And I didn't actually have anything for him, and I wasn't expecting him to come to me. If anything, I think I might have had a couple of clashes with him before then.
Oh, that was a clash of love. Now, what made you clash?
I can't even remember. Maybe he said something. I can't remember.
And he's a very funny person.
Yeah.
Maybe the thing just went wrongly. Yeah.
So then when it came to me, we were in the classroom that day. There was a teacher that was meant to turn up but didn't. So I thought, and he was asking that, can we start going out? I said, where is this coming from? And, after what you did.
Rev has always been very bold. Very, very bold. So, he just told this story, can we start going out?
Yeah.
And you're thinking.
And I said, no. Then
and he won't give up.
The following day it came.
He won't give up.
Yeah. So, but then by a few days after, I started liking him. I said, why not?
Is it because he's handsome?
No, I wasn't actually looking at the
that's part of it. It's good looking
of it. So I said, okay, we can give it a try, and that was how we, started. It was this type of innocent type of friendship, basically. Wow. We were not going to each other's houses, and so.
Wow. So from this point where Rev said, can we start going out in the classroom, in the final year, till the time you propose, because that's not, for me, it's not real proposal. No. You just wanted a serious relationship.
Yeah.
So how did you propose? Did you kneel down and bring out a ring? Because nowadays, I heard that some ladies will not even accept your proposal if you don't kneel down with a ring. So how did you do yours?
Yes, I think the world is taking it too far.
Thank you.
Yes, because sometimes the form of proposal that your wife will accept, be something ordinary. It's not something that has to be elaborate. But because now I want to show off, want to paste it on Facebook so that mine is better than yours and all that.
Yes, becoming competition.
If it was today, I probably would be in that trouble. But then there was no pressure of, you have to kneel down, you have to do all that. So
would you have knelt down?
If that was what was done at that time, I would have done that.
Okay.
But at that time, so I didn't feel that was.
So if it was popular at that time and he didn't kneel down and he still proved that he loved you, would you have accepted the
I
proposal?
think so. Because I think I would have, because I know that it's
not about
and it's not even about that kind of proposal. It's about the relationship itself.
After.
Yeah,
that's what really matters. Wow.
Yeah,
so
I've seen people buying rings for £5,000 in this country just to propose because they want to do better than
the other ones or their friends.
I think it should just be simple. When we are supposed to now conclude that this is it, I just went to my parents and I told them, you've been seeing this lady, if anybody else comes to you, that's not them. Because I was traveling to England at that time. And I said, that's the one that I want to marry. And then they arranged a meeting between the families. So we were kind of settled in our mind that this is it. I think proposal means that we were not sure whether we are going to go on. This is now, mine saying, this is it. But we already crossed that line a long time ago. So there was no formal proposal like that.
Like that. But maybe after the last born. Because now the children, maybe you will now propose now. After the children have done, you do the formal one, kneel down and giving of ring.
Oh my.
It's so interesting.
I can even lie down if she wants
Wow. I'm so excited. We are on LCBN TV right now. I'm really, really excited because I've really wanted to take this ministry this far for about 3 years now. God has made it happen. So Rev and Reverend Mrs., just know that people are watching you from all over the world and you've been a blessing and God will continue to bless your home. So when you moved to, came to abroad, and your wife was in Nigeria, I know it's going to be a bit challenging. So what were the challenges you faced early in marriage, and how did you overcome those challenges?
So what we experienced early in marriage, I actually came here to joined him here about 1.5 years after, and we got married here. And we expected to, start having children from there, but we didn't. And that became challenging for me. We went to see our doctors, they did investigations. Initially, they said, oh, there's something wrong with my womb. But afterwards, we prayed, and we went to see our general overseer who prayed with us and all of that. And they did another test, and that was resolved. But then we still weren't, getting pregnant. So
in altogether, how long did you wait?
We waited for four years before our first.
That's going to be a long 4 years for you, especially.
Yeah, but we were still together. We were still, praying together. Of course, it was a challenging and stressful period for us. At times, we might have disagreements about, what treatment we should have or what treatment we shouldn't have. Should we go for this prayer session or should we not go? And for me, as a woman, I was so passionate
going
about,
to every
having
meeting,
children and all of that. But he was just not keen on, going for all those things because he just thinks that it's going to happen in his own time. But I kept saying to him that, this is now.
Was there pressure from family?
Well, there wasn't, because initially we told them, we didn't tell them. We didn't tell them. I didn't tell my parents that I was waiting. But
definitely after 1 year of marriage, the next thing they are expecting.
Questions. My in-laws were asking questions, but there was no pressure from them.
Was there any pressure from your side, sir?
No.
Family calling, what is wrong with your wife?
I think because of the way I was brought up, they knew that whatever I decide and whenever I decide, they'll be fine. So there was no pressure.
Oh, that's fantastic. So you had your first child after 4 years?
After 4 years.
That was the main challenge you faced when you newly married?
Yes. Also, we had, during the period that we were waiting, we also had immigration problem, which compounded the issue. We had challenges with accommodation, obviously, because of the immigration issues, financial issues.
Wow. So how did this tear you apart or make you closer? Because some people, they are in the middle of what you are talking about now, and they are trying to pack it up. They never see the future. They are seeing that moment. So what can you say to them? Financial, immigration, waiting for fruit of the womb, newly married couple. How did you scale through?
Well, I think for our viewers, you got to be in a very good church. We had a lot of support from our church, and I mean, this is not about our church, but we had people who could encourage us. The house group leader, fantastic lady. She was always in our house, encouraging, phoning, sending scriptures and all that. So we had that support.
So every believer should not just say because of COVID now, because now that's the excuse. We are online. You should still belong to a Bible-believing church where you can always get support.
So we were really brought up properly as Christians. So we didn't
go through
grounded. We didn't go through it without help. Plus, before we got married, we attended the marriage counseling. Actually course for 12 weeks.
Fantastic.
That we were going through books and themes and subjects and all that. So those ones prepared us very well.
Reverend, let me quickly tell the viewers that these are marriage counselors. They also, Rev has been counseling couples now for how many years? In fact, he just told me that some of them, their children are already married. So if you need counseling, the purpose of this program is actually to raise people like this, to mentor as many couples as possible. So if you need contact, you need to speak to someone, you need to speak to me and my husband, or you need even to speak to them. You prefer them, maybe they are going through what you are going through now is similar to what they've gone through in the past. You are free to talk to them. God bless you. So now, interesting. I am enjoying your story. So when you eventually had children, and maybe the first and the second, and they were young, you needed to work. and I had from the discussion that Reverend had to stay with the children during the day. So all the school runs, he did most of them.
Yeah.
Some men will not just take that because of ego. Like, why will I, even if it's going to make the family progress, they just feel it's a woman thing to look after the children. How did you cope then?
Well, we had a plan. Okay. Every child, at least mom will stay at home for 1 year.
Okay.
To really ground them and look after them very well, because she's got to go back to work. And my work is flexible. Okay. My work is in the evening. Okay. So I do lecture.
So it's about understanding.
Yeah, so I do lecture. So we're able to free our times. So she will be in the house in the evening while I'm at work, and I will be in the house in the day when she was at work.
Every marriage is unique.
So that's
you need to master what
how we worked
works for you.
Around that for us. But I didn't find it difficult pushing the buggies and all that. And plus, my house is just a couple of minutes from the schools. So I didn't have to take a car if I didn't want to, because I was talking about it a couple of days during our walk. That we did all that. When I see young people doing it now, I feel, you know, I was there before.
Wow.
So we did all that, yes.
That's really lovely. So ability to just walk around, you know, the children, not saying you should look after them while I go to work. Or even some men, even when their work is not, you know, is flexible, they still didn't fit into doing that for them. They believe the wife should do that. So some will leave home if they want to go and sit in the library or somewhere, not really doing anything, but they want the wife to just take the children to school and still go to work. So it means that your husband actually really, really loves the family and really wants things to work.
Yeah.
So it made it easy for you. You want to say something?
It's about understanding, and it's about people understanding the face of their life. Yeah. You know, that it's a phase that is going to pass, and this is the phase that we're in now. How can we work together? You know, bear in mind that we're both in this country. Yeah. Our parents are not here. You know, younger sisters, brothers are not here. So there's no one really to fall back on apart from, you know, church members.
Home you have people around that can help and things like that.
Yeah, apart from each other and church members that helped and supported us. So it's about understanding and working it out between the two, the couple, basically.
Fantastic. Now, there is no marriage that works automatically. You need to put effort. You need to actually invest in your marriage, and the more investment you make into your marriage, the better it becomes. So I had Reverend, I'm passionate about your story. Reverend said to me, we go out on a date every week. He told me, wait, Reverend Mrs. And I'm thinking, every week, and you do it so passionately. There are some things I'm still going to say later. I just want to know, how did you come about that? Because I think that has actually helped your relationship. Even at work, when he's talking about you, we are like, oh my God, Rev, don't start. Don't start with this, your love. You won't believe you've been together for 37, let's say 27 years of marriage now. So this weekly dates, please, can you please tell us?
Okay. It's not going out every week.
Okay.
It's going out every month. But we have our weekly activity day off that is just for us.
Okay, let's start with the day off for you.
Yeah. On our day off, I don't pick any calls.
And can I tell you the day? You want don't call Reverend on Thursdays.
You can't call us on Thursdays.
I admire that. In fact, sometimes when I pick the phone, I see it's Thursday, I drop it. Yeah. Rev will not pick your call. I want you viewers to just, you know, adopt all this, because we are on this show to teach you practical things. You know, all those little things that you need to do to make your marriage work. Not everything is the demon. Not everything is a witch from the village. We need to just realize that we need to be responsible. It takes a lot of work to make your marriage work. Yeah. Someone in marriage for 27 years have a day set apart for the wife. Why won't the wife feel like a queen? Oh my God. Yeah. Can you imagine? Many ladies will be admiring you, and they won't know how much investment you people are putting in. They want to be like you, but they are not ready to do what you do. Yeah. Can you imagine a day, Thursday? So because of that, in February, do you know we started? Because anything good, I copy. The Bible also says anything good, you know, you can copy. And I told my husband, when are we choosing? We chose Tuesday.
So we can't call you on Tuesday now.
No, don't call me on Tuesdays. Don't call me. Thursday. And we are still, you is all day. Rev, I don't know how you do what you put in that all day to do. Yeah, break it down, because we still do half day.
Yeah. In your mind, we know that it's the day for us. It doesn't mean you don't do stuff.
Other things.
But it's now no business, no work. I mean, not once in a while you find the odd
yourself.
Ones. Yeah. For instance, if I was expecting an appointment that I've been trying to get all this time, and the person calls me on Thursday, I might pick it up. But I won't be the one to call them. Because I know it's my day off. And though we may be in the house, we don't do anything together. We have that understanding that, okay, she need
so you
anything?
just stay there and sometimes you're looking at each other.
Just stay
How sweet.
We might watch a movie together. We might go to the park together, picnic, and do that, and just go sit at the park.
I'm loving this.
And talk.
But once every month is when we now go out. Okay,
so the date is once a month. So tell us about the date.
Yeah, so we don't say you have to, but sometimes if I do it this month, I'm challenging her. Next time is you that is taking me out. So whoever is taking someone out, if I'm taking her out now, I'll ask her to choose.
Okay, where she would like to go.
And
wow.
We've been around many of our African restaurants.
So you know almost everywhere in
except
the
new one that is opening.
The new one that is opening, Rev, you've been there.
So.
I love this. So please, I just want many couples listening to me to initiate this straight away. Begin to talk it to yourself now. Which date are we? That's what I want to hear you telling your spouse. Which day of the week are we choosing for ourselves? And you will see in the next few weeks, or let me say, give yourself 2-3 months, you will see the transformation in your marriage. Amen. So it's going to work. I believe it's going to work for all of you. It's working for them. And it's going to work for you if you do it in Jesus' name. So marriage is what you make it. I said it here. It's not all about demonic attacks. Most times we only need to stop blaming, this blame game, take responsibility and be fully committed. You are fully committed to your marriage. There is no plan B. Many people are still having plan B in case it does not work. It won't work that way. You need to be completely committed, totally committed to your relationship. I really, really admire your relationship. It's an enviable marriage, but you've put in a lot.
Yes.
You've actually put in a lot. So, area of finance, I'm really conscious of time. Yeah. Rev, you've written a book about finance,
yes. And
you've talked to me 1 or 2 times about how your children actually took after you in spending. So, and in marriages, if it's not sex, it's going to be finance or respect. Those 3 things, they scatter so many marriages out there. So when you're talking about finance, you're talking about joint account. This issue of separate account, joint account has actually destroyed many homes. So what advice do you want to give couples out there?
Yes, thank you. I wrote a book on finance, but it wasn't about marriage.
Okay,
it's
just generally
on finance.
Okay.
I'm somebody who counts the pennies. You have to explain to me what you spend that 1 penny on. Now, it doesn't mean we don't give. We are very, very open armed.
Okay.
We bless a lot of people. In fact, beyond imagination. Why
do you consult her to give? If you want to give,
yes, we do. Yes.
So what if she's not convinced?
We will find a way of convincing each other. We just try to say, okay, we've given so much to this person because we have a standard figure that we give ordinarily to people.
Okay.
So I don't have to ask her. Okay. If you say, okay, this person is doing something, we know how much we'll give them.
From the designated amount
yes.
that you set for standard.
But there are sometimes that we now think, okay, maybe you should do more because this is a bigger challenge.
Okay.
And that's when we need to consult each other and then ask, okay, what about this amount? Okay. Sometimes I'm actually too low, she will be up, and sometimes I'm actually up and she will be down, but then we'll find a compromise.
So who handles finance?
We don't have a financial
advisor.
So both of you have a way of balancing things
because
you don't question her when she spends.
We run our individual accounts. She has her account, I have my account, but we have the joint one. Okay. And if the money is supposed to come from the joint one, I don't ask her, why did you do this? Why did you do that? Maybe because we are blessed. This time of our life, the finance is not an issue, God is blessing us.
Amen.
But there were times that we didn't have much.
Let's talk about that time you didn't have much.
Yes.
That time that you were still struggling, you know, in putting. How did you manage your finance? Because now, even sometimes your commission comes in, you don't look at it for 3 months.
Yeah.
So you don't want to talk about that. Or you are not even in a hurry for anything because you know God has blessed you. That time that there was little, can you please tell us, how did you manage your finance?
Well, maybe she should speak because she's somebody that doesn't have to buy the what is in town.
So how did you manage your finance?
Well,
for those who are struggling with their finance, we want you to advise.
Well, we just look at what we have. We look at the needs. At times, I've actually created a spreadsheet of, you know, how much we must spend on food and rent or mortgage and things like that.
Okay.
And, you know, once we've brought the money in, we put the money aside, you know, for all those necessities, and whatever is left, that is what we live on. And I'm somebody that like to save money as well. Out of nothing, I'm still going to, I still like to, you know, put something aside, you know, for the rainy days, you know, so we put that aside
so
as well.
Actually,
so Rev
said there wasn't anyone managing that, but you, that means you are very good in actually managing money, especially that time when there was little. You actually help, you know, in managing the little resources, and he trusted your discretion, so he allowed you to manage all those times.
Yeah, and also because in this country we are blessed that you can, you know, do work agency and do all of that. If I see that there's going to be a severe shortage, I might take on extra duties, you know, to
extra job.
To just go and do that to make up the shortfalls.
So
and that was how we did it.
When you're talking about finance in marriage now, it's not about I'm the head, I must manage the money. So if the wife is actually better in handling finance, let the wife handle the finance. And having a separate account does not mean you love your wife less or you love your husband less, because some people, you know, I think some were brought up to believe that husband and wife, if they separate their account, they've separated their marriage. So what can you say? Is it true that a separated account is a separated home? Is that true?
I don't think so, because we actually started from there. We started with different accounts. But after about, was it 7 or 10 years, that we then, you know, decided to, you know, bring our funds together. So we then opened
I like this account you have said, because we keep it real. I like practical stories. I like things that are real. You know, I don't want to bring you here to paint picture that everything is just fine, and people are not getting anything from the show. Now, you started with separate accounts, and later you realize, let's bring it together. More understanding, you know. I think maybe more understanding, and at that point, maybe you now realize that we've got children, we've got many things to do, more understand. I believe that people grow in marriage. If there are things that are making you people not to bring it together in the first place, don't crucify yourself and don't think that your spouse love you less. It's whatever work for your marriage.
Exactly.
So if joints actually work, do it. I've seen some couple making change in their finance, and it actually broke their marriage, because the wife from Africa, the man collects the wife's salary, as in the wife pays the salary into the man's account, and the man decides on what they do with the money. But at some point that the woman get more exposure and she needed money, she resisted that, and that actually ended the marriage. So I always tell people, even if you're going to make a change, because every marriage you should be reviewing things after year, there should be family meeting. As God is blessing you, you should actually review things that you do 5 years before. Things might have changed. You might need to up your game. And I think this couple didn't do that. The man refused to agree that we are now in Europe and we are no more in Africa. And this woman also working, you know, day and night, needs to leave as well. So the man wanted the same thing even after 15, 20 years of marriage. And that actually strained their relationship. So
I think it's a matter of trust, because having joint account or not doesn't mean there's not going to be trouble. Because if you don't trust each other, even if you have joint account, it's going to cause trouble.
Trouble as well. But in the case where the wife never say anything, doesn't question anything, the man spend the money on whatever and doesn't even ask what the man does with the money. But later the woman start asking, you know, darling, what about the money in the account? And the man says, are you okay? Are you actually asking me what I did with the money? The money both of them actually put in the account. So I think they need wisdom. You know, couples need wisdom in handling finance. But trust, as you said, is the key. You need to trust each other enough. Please go ahead.
Can I just add the fact that we need to think about the dispensation that we live in? You know, many of us, we grew up back home, and you know, there were certain ways that our parents did, you know, managed their finances, managed the home. You know, we're now living in a different dispensation and in a different country. That doesn't mean that we are not Christians, but we need to imbibe cultures that align with the spiritual culture that we believe, which is Christianity, and things that will help things to run
better
smoothly. So we need to think about that as well, and not think that this is the way our parents did it and this is the way.
So we are not made. Rules are made for us. We are not made for the rules. So we shouldn't be foolish. We shouldn't say the way my father did it.
Yeah.
That's why, because you know what, the generation of the children we're having now, they are going to do it in a different way.
Yeah.
It's obvious. It's obvious. So we need to actually be flexible.
Yeah.
All we want is that our marriage work. That we should always look at that. The next question is very, very is on sex.
Okay.
So I remember you told us at the Valentine extraordinary love dinner that we had in February, shortly before the COVID-19. We just thank God for that wonderful. In fact, less than 3 weeks after, you know, we were locked down. I'm like, God, I thank you. No one from this event had this COVID-19. So you told us then that also in your marriage, there is something called all you can eat. That is, even when your wife does not feel like she does not deny you, she's here now. I don't know whether she was there before. She was there. It's true. It's true. And on that day, people were like, there wasn't enough time, and they were giving me feedback. That man must come back and tell them what is it's the all you can eat. What do you mean? And my husband, in particular, was curious. He wanted to know. I said, with the one you are eating, you still want to know all you can eat. So, Rev, tell us what this sexual intimacy in marriage after 27 years.
Yes.
You still run after this woman.
Yes.
Okay, tell me what the secret is.
Well, we mentioned that, and it came out of the blue. I didn't plan it. So,
and now we tagged you all you can
but
eat.
it's the truth. I think in marriage, you should not have any restriction as to when, how, what,
and where.
What and where. Because the Bible actually says that the marriage bed is pure, undefiled. So really, you should take her or him as a new person. You've just met them, they're virgin and all that. And that should mean that you can explore with each other without any restriction. That's what it means, that all you can eat. It doesn't have any restriction, no boundaries.
Wow. So you are, I don't know how you did it. So that means that you are couple that are open to each other.
Yeah.
You are very open.
Yeah.
So there's nothing like the light must be off at all time. It must be in the room at all time.
We don't make the rules. That's what
it just happens.
Yeah, we don't make the rules.
It's because of the intimacy. You know,
so
when it flows, it shows how close you are.
When this understanding is there in marriage, that there's no rules.
Okay.
If you make the rules, then that's what makes things
hard.
You may not initially accept what the person is saying, as long as it's not against the Bible.
The Bible, okay.
So that's just break the boundaries with time. Give your understanding.
Because you have access to all
Exactly.
all her body. And
all you can eat. So
all you can eat. So okay.
Yeah.
All you can eat.
Just to quickly add as
Please
well,
help me.
the fact that, you know, when our children were growing up, or even when they are fully grown, we were conscious of that.
Okay.
So that we have to be conscious of that. So in a way, I don't want to use a negative word that puts a restriction on
how free you became.
But we have to be mindful. Like when they are not at home, then we can do whatever.
Thank you. That's like. She threw more light into this now. Because now the children have grown, and I remember when I got married newly, I can wear anything in the house. I don't care. I can even go naked in the house. But the children now, even some night wears, you can't wear them because of the children, because it's see-through, and you know that the children are around the house. So that means at that point, there can be some restriction. But if you understand each other, you know that after school runs, if both of you are flexible, it's a good time. So there is no fixed, some people are just, they're not thinking out of the box. They just feel that it has to be when we come back from work, 11 p.m., both of them are worn out and tired. But there have been some open spaces during the day where they would have had a good time with each other.
It's not only that, because even when they are in the house, we go on holiday on our own.
Okay.
Just on the two of us for a weekend. So
you didn't add that one to it. You have no. You need to tell. We brought you here to come and tell us the secret of your marriage. What is working for you?
You got to create.
You still have holiday again. Okay, so
just
where do you go?
There's a family holiday for the
whole family.
But then there's just two of us. It's not a long holiday. Might be somewhere in the country.
But sir, what about those who cannot afford all this? Because some people are thinking this is luxury. They have a weekly, a monthly date. How do I get money to do all this?
That's where most people might get it wrong. We are not talking about expensive outing. Sometimes we go to McDonald's.
You see now. So please don't get it wrong. Don't think these are made reverend and reverend. They have money. No, it's not about the money. It's about the mind to work on your marriage. Just take her out, even if it is McDonald's or KFC. Take your wife there.
We are conscious of what we eat, so we eat the best of them. That if we are going to McDonald's, we might eat the salad and all that
things
stuff.
That are healthy.
But when we say we go on holiday, we have registered with some holiday packages that when they do discounts, they send it to us. So, and then we say that okay, we have this amount to spend. We just go for it. So it doesn't have to be expensive, 5-star, 7-star.
Fantastic.
And when you're going into the further down, you get it even more affordable. So
I just wish people would listen and do what you're saying.
Making things that work for you. You don't have to save a big amount.
To go on holiday.
You might find you have a few tens of pounds and all that. That can just give you a night out.
How often do you go on holiday with your wife?
Well, as often as we can create the time. So we don't have a date. Okay, this is what we have to do every quarter. If tomorrow we find out we want to go, we just go.
I've also you're hearing. We have to up our game. I want to copy this couple. Fantastic. We are just 19 years. You are 27, so we have a lot to learn from you.
It's about investment.
The more you invest, the better your marriage becomes. Fantastic.
And when I say investment, it doesn't mean investing
money,
in money,
but the time. Invest the time.
And a little bit of money can go a long way.
So there is love in the marriage. There is communication. I can see that you communicate.
Yes.
So if your wife does not like it, she tells you, darling, I didn't enjoy it. I do the same with my husband. I will say, this time around, don't look back. That is, you failed this time around. He will say, I will repeat it. I said, I won't give you the chance now. Maybe another time. It has to be, you know, that intimacy has to really come. You have to actually communicate well. Because if you want to enjoy your sexual intimacy, then if you are not communicating, somebody is suffering in silence. Is it that the wife is not enjoying it? It's just like, do it and go. But I just appreciate the fact that you are here, not just for yourself, but for the people. We are saving marriages. So there's still one more thing you do, Rev. Oh my God. In your home, you cook weekly. Tell me about that. He goes to kitchen. Sometimes he's rushing from work and he's like, I'm the one cooking today. I say, Rev, you started. tell us, how did you do it? How come you share who cooks in the house? My husband actually, you know, when you see good things, you copy. My husband is actually good in Italian food.
Fantastic.
But now we made him cook regularly because Rev is doing it. Apostle, he cooked one the last time I put it on Facebook. Everybody like, wow. So he's going to continue to do it, you know, regularly.
Yes.
So it's a positive thing, and we are doing it. Is really, the children are happy because sometimes they are tired of my food. So, but you have been doing it for quite a long time, and you don't miss it. So how do you do it?
Well, it's been easy for me because in our home we have only one girl.
Okay.
So all the rest of all of us are boys.
So you were trained.
Learn.
Okay.
And that's
so you've been cooking from when you were young.
Yeah. So we have a day that this is what you cook, and you have to make 2 meals because Daddy was diabetic, so you have to make his meals separate.
So as a young man, you cook for your dad.
Yes.
Then.
Yes.
Wow. So, you need to speak to boys.
that's how we've been trained. No, the point that I'm making to make that is that many people think that cooking is not for men, and it's surprising that when you go to hotels, most of the chefs are men. So
is it because they only do it for profession and they earn money?
Well, at least they are cooking.
Okay.
Well, that's what it is.
And they cook well.
And they cook well.
But when they get home, do they still cook in the house?
Some of them do cook very well. That's where I'm coming from. Not just because I was brought up in a home that men, we are all men. There's this taboo that cooking is for women. Then you can say, making money is for men. So women should go and make money.
And we are making money now.
So I don't think so. Now, the women may be better in cooking, and so we allow them to do what they are good at. I can't cook as well as my wife, and when she makes her meal, you know, you lick your finger, clear the plates and all that.
Wow!
But I cook not just once a week. I cook anytime. This week already I've cooked twice. So it's not about once a week.
Okay, I think there is a time people expect you, the family members.
Okay, because of this lockdown, we came up with lockdown dinner. So we can eat anything that we want during the day.
So why can't we be creative for God's sake?
So
why can't we be creative and make your own fun? See, a lot of fun. I'm not living with you, but I'm feeling it. You know, I'm feeling how fun your house is. Lockdown meal.
Lockdown meal.
My husband also and the children, they came out with different things during this lockdown. We didn't call it lockdown meal, but we actually did something similar. And the difference is he wasn't brought up to cook when he was young, but he trained himself.
Yeah, people can learn it.
He actually trained himself.
So we cook that way. If I had to put the pictures on Facebook, there will be too many of them. Because we take a picture
we take a picture of every meal because we make it a special meal every day.
The idea is make life easy for yourself. If you are expecting her to be good at night, then she's stressed out. So that won't work. So we share the responsibility, and we.
Now here we go. So helping, you know, when you say a woman it gives you all you can eat, sir. With all you do during the day, there is no woman that won't allow you to do all you can eat.
Because they are not stressed out. Yes. So.
You don't allow her to stress out.
Yeah.
And that's one of the secrets of the woman. But some men, they don't understand this. They want to eat.
Nothing in
they want to eat their cake and have it. They want the woman to do everything and still she's tired and they still want the best. You can't get the best of your wife if you don't support her during the day. So can you quickly tell us your love language? What's your love language?
My love language, she will be the one to tell you, but I can tell you how.
Oh, okay. Tell me hers.
Oh, it's touch.
Touch. So you can't count how many times you touch her. So what's your husband's love language?
It's touch as well.
No. So it's even both of you. It's fantastic. You have the same love language, which makes it so easy, and that's really fantastic. We begin to round up now because of our time, but God factor cannot be overemphasized.
Yes.
Your marriage is not working. I want the viewers to hear this. It's not because you are Reverend and Reverend Mrs. As a matter of fact, I wanted to be careful to introduce you that way because I don't want people to think it's because they are pastors. That's why. If you put all these things we've said to work, it will work for you. There are so many ministers with title that are messed up maritally because they refuse to do what will make their marriage work. They refuse to invest this time they invested. They refuse to invest money into their marriage. They refuse to do what they needed to do. So God orchestrated marriage, and we need to have good relationship with God because he has the manual. So what can you say? I know you are a man and woman of God, but it's about your relationship. It's not about your title. It's not the title you earn being a pastor now. It's about you having a relationship with God. So tell us and tell the viewers the importance of knowing God and having God in your marriage.
Okay, well, I can speak from my own perspective because
Yes,
when we say reverend, pastor, we didn't become pastor before we married.
Okay.
So there was a length of time that we were
just normal people.
Yeah. So if it worked for us at that time, pastor just helped us to make it better.
Okay.
So we've been together 10 years and then another 3 years before we actually got married. Before I became a pastor.
Okay.
Because I became ordained in 97. So, and we've been together from 83.
Okay.
So it's not about being a pastor for your marriage to be able to work. What we now understand a lot more when we became pastors, and this that pastors are expected to do and all that. So our relationship is based on God and liking each other.
Wow.
So God factor is very much in the mix. Because we went for a course, proper course.
You said it.
They did all that. I think most marriages fail because
there's no
training, no counseling, and all that stuff.
Do you know you do a lot to even draw the young couples of today or young people to come for counseling?
Yeah.
You do a lot. Yeah. They don't want to come. Yeah. That's why many marriages are not working.
And we know that when we have challenges, we take it to God. She spoke about when we were waiting on God. When God said to me that we're going to have children, that settles it. So everything is about God. And the D word, we don't use it in our family. So we know what God wants. And then
so you have some grand rules.
Yes, we do.
So every family should have that.
Yeah. So maybe
come out with things. Yeah. What are those,
God factor?
The God factor for me was, being closer to God. And, we have men and women of God in our lives that have been blessings to us.
Mentors.
They've been mentors to us. They will take us on retreats, couples retreats.
Okay.
We'll go there and they teach us a lot of things. They pour themselves out for us. And, we didn't just take those things at face value. We actually made a duty of making it work and making use of what they have poured out into us. Some of the things that we do today, like having our own day, like on Thursdays, these are the things that we learned from our fathers and mothers in the Lord that is helping us today. Yeah.
Wow, fantastic. Now, by the way, you look good for your age, because I know you're close in age to Rev, and you look like maybe 5, 7, 10 years younger. I know Rev is always looking young, but what is the secret? Because ladies out there need to hear that it's not just after you've got married, you just release yourself and think, okay, I'm his own now I'm in the house. You need to actually look good for your husband. You need to make sure that even when your husband has gone to work in the morning, if you are at home, even if you are full housewife, when he's going to come back 6 o'clock, can you please enter bedroom and bathe and dress up and do your face? Because the man has seen so many eyelashes and so many makeup and so many people looking good, and even the colleagues at work, they came to work, beautiful. So tell us about it, because you maintain this stature, the look. I've always been saying you look good. So tell us the secret.
Thank you for that. It's about determination. It's about determination to not let yourself go, because I've, seen and heard stories of people after getting married and they just let themselves go, and, that is it. I've always said to myself, initially I had the belief that, no, I can't put on weight. But when I had my first son, I realized that
it is possible if you are not careful.
Put on weight. So I had to start working on myself. At a point, I registered with a gym. I used to go to gym on maybe 2 or 3 times every week, but that is not working for me at the moment. So I make it a point of duty to work on.
So you do exercise?
I do exercise. We work together, or I can work on my own. Some of the time, I get up in the morning before going to work. I'm out there walking for about.
He does leave car. He also does leave car and jump on the train for the purpose of making sure that he's
I'm counting my steps.
You know, his steps is completed.
And the thing is that I'm a health and well-being specialist. I help people to look after their health and well-being. You know, so I'm not somebody that, you know, say do as I say,
not
don't
do as I do.
So, you know, that being
You're
that
living by
example.
example.
Yeah. So, and determining to look after myself, I go to such extent, you know, I stopped going to salon about maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I do my hair by myself. Wow. If I can't do it myself, my daughter does it for me. And, you know, so all of that, doing my makeup, and
you know, learn those things, so you can actually learn.
You can learn to look after yourself. I go on the YouTube, I you know, doing my makeup, I go and learn about how to do it. So I learn about how to look after my face.
You've got a daughter as well. She must have helped.
Yes.
You know, telling you what is raining, what is trendy, what is...
I ask her as well. You know, good. So these are the kind of things that I do to not let myself go. It's about determination to not let yourself go and make sure that you look after yourself.
And look attractive to this young man, young handsome man. Amen.
Looking after your health and well-being.
Because as well.
Fashion doesn't actually come from, you know, applying makeup. It's the other way around.
It's from within.
The nutrition, what you eat, looking after what you eat, and being mindful of what you eat, getting rid of excess fatty food and quick meals and things like that.
I think they need to come and meet you for proper training on the kind of meal to eat and all that. But really, you look good, ma. For that 27 years in marriage, she's always looking. I remember anytime I see her and see her picture, she looks good. Thank you for that. As we round up, I want you to advise the single ladies out there. Reverend Mrs., what advice do you have for single ladies? I'm really, because they need to hear a word of advice from you.
For every single lady out there, I would like to say to you that, number one, you need to cherish yourself. You need to know that you were made in the image and the likeness of God. And you need to work on your self-esteem if you don't already have it. Believe in who you are. Be joyful and be happy in who you are. So it is when you believe in who you are that you can actually find the right person, that you're not having to, you know, push yourself or force a man to love you, or think that you have to go into sexual immorality to make the man accept you. And, laying down your principles and letting them know what you actually stand for, and respecting yourself. And when you do that, a man actually, they will value you if you're not putting yourself down for them and allowing them to trample over you even before marriage. Because it is whatever you allow a man to start doing to you, even before marriage, that they will carry on doing, once you're married to them. So you cannot say that you want to use pregnancy to tie a man down and become a baby mama. That is not the plan of God for your life. Work with your pastors, your mentors, and let them guide you in this journey. And you would be happy that you do.
Thank you very much. That was fantastic. Rev, I want you to advise the young men how they are not doing enough. And you see, men are really, not learning in terms of cooperating or supporting their wives. Most men, how they. So what advice do you have for them? Seminars, you won't see them. Counseling, you won't see them. How do they learn? How do they grow? I want you to advise men in just 1 minute.
Relationship is for forever. So you got to value it. If you know that this is the person that you're going to live with for the rest of your life, then you must prepare yourself to be the best for her. And that means that you got to do some training, go for some seminars and all that stuff, counseling, and make sure that you are not the problem in the marriage. And I think a lot of the men, because we are not prepared, we are still boys when we get into relationships, so we don't know how to handle stuff.
Many things.
But you know what? Just like my wife said, get a mentor, get close to so people that can help you. But prepare yourself. And I believe that when you're well prepared, then everything will work well.
Thank you very much. Fantastic. We've actually used this hour very well. Thanks for coming on our show. We really appreciate you. Your marriage is working, and it will continue to work in Jesus' name. Amen. It will not go sour in the name of Jesus. Amen. You continue to be role models that you are in the name of Jesus. Amen. I thank you very much, and I appreciate you. Thank you once again. God bless you. To the viewers, I think you've been blessed today. We are just starting. And I'm glad we are starting with this wonderful couple. So you see this every week. You're going to see different couple with different testimony, because every marriage is unique. We believe in you. We believe in your marriage. God is working on that relationship. It will not scatter in the name of Jesus. My marriage must work. It has to work when you are ready to work with it. So I want you and your spouse to work together to make sure that your marriage work. And I have this quote I always say: if you stop working on your marriage will stop working. So don't stop working on your marriage. Keep pushing, keep working on it, and God will bless your home in Jesus' name. Thank you very much. God bless.